Hi guys, welcome to today's episode of the collection video. So I thought instead of showing you just like my rhythm game collection and stuff, I thought I'd display all of the controllers that I could find inside my home. These range from what I had ever since when I was younger all the way up until now. Maybe you might recognize some of these controllers or not. And then I also have some additional peripherals that I'll also be mentioning as well. Without further ado, I think we should get started with one of the very first controllers that I've ever owned when I was younger. One of the most classic controllers that you'll ever see every time you play a PlayStation game is the DualShock controller. This is the PS2 one specifically. Now, I used to own a couple PS1s as well, but I couldn't find those controllers for this video. And typically, whenever it comes to coming back to playing PS2 games, this is the main controller that I actually use. Still works like a charm to this day, ever since taking so much abuse and all that fun stuff with me and my brother throughout the years. When the first controller would be the one for either me or my brother, whoever would be controlling the second controller would be this one right here. As you see, there's a color difference, and then you can also see the inside of the controller with this DualShock controller, which is really cool. And then we were fortunate to have one of the Mad Catz controller, the third-party controller for the PlayStation 2. This is also pretty fun to use every now and then. It's not the go-to controllers because, well, we just prefer the original more because it's easier to hold and it's comfy. To keep on at it with the PlayStation face, here's the PS3 controller that we mainly use. Red represents my brother, and then I'll show the other controller that I use whenever I play the PlayStation 3. This is the controller that I would use whenever I play on the PS3, but sadly it's a little more defunct at the moment, so I mainly stick to the red controller that my brother uses. We barely play the PS3 anyways, so we just have this just to show. Inside this case includes the PSP that me and my brother use. Actually, this is my brother's PlayStation Portable. I have the original PSP, but unfortunately it broke. This one's also sort of wearing off too because the battery's popping out of its system, so barely playing with this anymore, but this was still fun to play with back in the heyday. And then transitioning to the current stuff, this is the controller that I mainly use to this day. This is the PS4 controller, of course, with the color scheme of the original PlayStation. This one is my controller, and I definitely use this a lot. However, if there are friends hanging out with me, they would use this one to play the second player. And then inside this case right here contains my PS Vita. This is pretty fun to use from time to time as well, although it's not my go-to system when it comes to handhelds. I've only played this to play Project Diva F and F2, that's pretty much it. And then of course I have the PlayStation Move controllers. So I use these for the PlayStation VR actually. These are pretty much fun to use. To go along with the PlayStation Move controllers, it actually comes along with the PS VR headset, which I have right here. I usually play games such as Beat Saber, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, the Hatsune Miku Project Diva games that are based off of the VR stuff. And yeah, this is actually pretty cool to use every now and then. Now I'm going to move on to the Wii phase. Of course, you cannot have a Wii without a Wii remote. I unfortunately can't find my nunchucks around the home, so at least I found this, so I guess that counts for something. I also found one of these. So this is the Wii Motion controller. So to play games like Wii Sports Resort, you would insert this inside of your actual Wii remote, and it will have like better movement, better timing when it comes to playing different games. And of course, as a big fan of Mario Kart Wii, I have the steering wheel, the Wii wheel. It's really fun to use every time I play. It's a little old and grimy now, but I'm still happy I have this in my collection. And then now transitioning over to the Wii U phase. Of course, here's the good old Wii U gamepad, and here is the Wii U Pro controller that we use to play certain games. But my brother would use this for Smash, while I take the Wii U gamepad because I think it's more comfy holding that one instead of this. And this system isn't mine, it's actually my brother's, but this is our Nintendo 3DS. And of course, to this day, to play games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I use my Nintendo Switch. Here is the Ring controller used to play Ring Fit Adventure along with the leg strap that you could stick your Joy-Con into whenever you play. One of the two microphones that we use to play our PlayStation games, or Guitar Hero specifically. So this is the High School Musical microphone, used to play High School Musical Sing It. And this thing's actually pretty decent, honestly. The only downside about this is that the cable is really, really long, and it's a hassle to tie everything up whenever you're not using it. And then there's the Guitar Hero microphone. Again, the same thing. The only difference is that, of course, the logo on it. For the fans of Guitar Hero, here is my Guitar Hero controller that I used to play Guitar Hero 3, Legends of Rock, let alone Guitar Hero World Tour, because I own this one and my brother is the one that takes the other one. And speaking of, this is the Guitar Hero controller that he uses when we play Guitar Hero. Now the difference between this controller and the controller that I showed previously is this right here. So this is for hitting certain notes on the screen, and then when you just tap it, it counts as hitting the notes. And then of course this button right here, the star power button, so instead of tilting the guitar up, you literally just press the button and then it triggers the star power for you. Whenever I would play with PC gaming, I would usually use this controller. Although technically I'm more of a keyboard type of person, this is the Nico Airflow PC controller. This is pretty fun to use and to hold in your hand, especially that if you need a cooldown, this thing provides a fan for you. Alright, so to continue on with this video, now I'll be showing you guys off my rhythm gaming controllers. I'll be doing this section a little differently because I'll actually show a little bit of gameplay footage to go along with the controller. So first off, let me mention this beforehand. As I demonstrate the usage of these controllers, I will not be including music due to copyright and stuff, and I'd rather not deal with that. But I'll go ahead and show you guys how these controllers will play out like if you were using these in real life. So without further ado, let's get started with this first controller. Out of all the controllers that I have inside the home, this is probably my favorite. This is none other than the L-TEK dance pads that I use to play Step Mania, DDR, Simply Love, however you want to call it. Behind all the stuff that I have lying here, here's one controller, or should I say two of them, that I used frequently back in the day. This is Precision's Dance Pads Omega TX. This is a combination of Dance Dance Revolution and Pump It Up. I also haven't been using these lately because sadly these two were damaged from the flood water in the basement. No chance of me using these anytime soon, so I just have this for decoration for now. And because I've shown you some gameplay footage of me playing DDR, Step Mania, whatsoever, I'm going to show the other one, Pump It Up. This controller right here is for the Switch game Taiko no Tatsujin Drum and Fun, and I usually use this to play. Now, I wish I was able to upgrade this to make it bigger and to make it easier so that I actually play like the arcade drums, but this is actually pretty decent as it is. So it comes with two sticks, of course, and then you hit the middle or the side depending on the notes. This is an ipega controller, which is used to play the game Hatsune Miku Project Diva Megamix, and this is specifically for the Switch. Of course, because you see the layout here in front, it has the touch slide patterns as you would play in the arcades, and what makes it all the more cooler, that you place your Nintendo Switch here, you dock it in here, and then you could play Project Diva this way, or if you like, you could also connect it to the TV in the back, and then you could play that way as well. Man, I'm rusty. I prefer to use the next controller that I'll be showing over this one anyways. As I was talking about, this is the controller that I mainly use to play Project Diva with. So not only for the Switch, but also for the PlayStation 4. This also plays on the PS5 and also plays for the PC as well. This is called the DIVALLER, and it comes with the corresponding buttons, triangle, square, circle, or X and circle right here. And then this is a touch slider, and once I plug this in, this lights up, and then I'm able to play the game this way. And honestly, this is the heaviest controller that I have so far. But at the same time too, this actually does feel like I'm playing in the actual arcade games. If I'm going to like round one or whatsoever, this is actually really fun. And finally, here is my Groove Coaster controller that I used to play the game Groove Coaster YY Party on the Nintendo Switch. It also works for PC as well. So this actually is like a handle that you can control around just like this. It also comes with buttons here that you tap to play the game with, and it's pretty straightforward. So the game, what you usually do, just tap on the buttons, and then if you see slide notes, that's when you move the joystick around just like this. And not only that, once the controller is plugged in, the outer rings right here actually light up. So those are all the controllers that I have, ranging from what I had when I was younger all the way up until now. But out of all of them, which controller do you like the best? If you're interested in getting these controllers for yourselves, I say go for it, especially if you're into learning about the rhythm gaming stuff. Or do you have any suggestions on what controllers I could probably use? Like as I mentioned before, since I like to play fighting games, I don't have a fight stick yet, so maybe I could get myself one, but I just need recommendations of which one's the best. Otherwise, I think that's it from me. Again, thank you for joining me in this video, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye guys. Peace.